And it's actually kind of funny. There's always this post that goes around, and it's like, what would you rather have? 850 credit score or like $300,000 in cash? And oh my God, I cringe every single time I see the people say an $850 credit score. Like, are you kidding me? You would take a credit score over cash, bro? Cash? And usually the justifications are like, oh, well, then I can go borrow $350,000 and even more than that. Dude, dude. Then you have to pay that $350,000 back. It's not yours. It's not yours to keep. Like, why wouldn't you take the cash and be like, oh, well, I'll just borrow more and then invest it and then start making money that way? If you don't have, like a couple thousand or two and you're not investing that couple thousand or two, you're not going to get 300 grand and invest it. I promise you won't, okay? Like, it's behaviors. Just because you get flushed with money doesn't mean that you know how to handle it or know what to do with it. Like, you don't even know how to handle like a grand or two. And you think that you're going to be able to handle $300,000 because you borrowed it? Like, just the idea that like credit is better than cash is like, I think, a really big problem, and it's a really big reason why people have a lot of financial issues. Like, you're a borrower. You owe somebody. Why do you want to owe somebody else money? Why do you want to owe somebody else money? And there's a lot of people out there that would choose to take the credit score, but here's another reason why I would just not agree with that, is because like all a credit score is how much debt you have, how well you can manage your debt, and things like that. It's all focused around debt. And what is debt is that you owe somebody else. Like, if you go a few years, I don't know the exact amount of years or whatever, but your credit score will go away if you stay debt free for an extended period of time. You will no longer have a credit score. It's exactly the same reason as to why you don't have a credit score before you get into debt, okay? And it's like, we have just a culture that's so focused on, financing. You get assets and then you go borrow against those assets for whatever reason just to get more cash. Now, in a business sense, debt can be very useful and helpful, but in a personal finance sense, debt keeps you broke. Debt keeps your future income spoken for. You don't get to take that future income and put it in your savings account. You don't get to save up for that next purchase. You don't get to save for your retirement. You get to sign away that future income towards debt payments. So it's like, and if you have $300,000 in cash, you don't owe anybody. You have that cash. It's yours. In the long run, if you were to take that $300,000 and just be smart about it, I mean, debatably, you might not ever have to work again. You could take that money, invest it, earn a solid return, and if you didn't even touch the principal and continue to add to it, you would end up with millions by the time that you retired, just without even touching it. And it's not like you have to go and do some complicated investment to do this. But it's like, a perfect credit score, you could have $0, zero wealth, nothing in a savings account, and have a perfect credit score. So it's like, what good does that do you? What good does having $0 in cash, no assets, and a perfect credit score? What good does that do? So that's another reason why I would not be for the perfect credit score, and why I think that it's just a bad idea. And I think it's really unfortunate that us as a culture, we would prioritize having a perfect credit score, which is strictly related to debt, versus cash that we have and own, and which we don't owe anybody else. And it's insane how much our culture and society focuses around debt. It's nuts. And I think has a lot to do with the reason why, it's hard for a lot of people to become financially independent or have financial freedom, whatever you think that might be. So that's just another reason why I would pick the credit score. Or sorry, I would not pick the credit score. I would pick the cash over the credit score. Because you can literally have zero wealth, zero cash, nothing to your name, but you can have a perfect credit score. And all a credit score is, and all it tells you, is how much debt you have and how well you can manage that debt. That's it. Like I said, if you go without debt for a certain amount of years, your credit score goes away. You don't have a credit score anymore. But you can not have a credit score and you can be richer than shit. But you can have a perfect credit score and be broke as hell.